Classic Movie Show special on movie theaters and the budgets. I'm your host, Vincent LaSpada. Alongside me, as always, the man that sits in the fourth row, Dan Skip Allen.
Hey, we are going to be talking about the money. Where's the money go and what it goes into in the movie industry. And we're going to use one example of one actor we saw walk among the tombstones this week. So we're going to use Liam Neeson movies. He was in 5 movies this year. So we're going to start dissecting some of his numbers for you and give you an idea of how the money works in the movie industry.
Well, let's get into. There are two types of ways that movie theaters can show the movie, and that's percentage and bidding. Now, when the theater bids on it, they bid on it for so many weeks and how much it is. Now, what I mean is that they agree for the fixed amount for the movie, and it could be $100,000 for a week engagement of a new movie. During the time, it could make $125,000 for the profit, or it could make $25,000. So the movie that when they bid on it, they're bidding on that for that market to show it for a percentage of what they're going to have.
Oh, okay. That's very interesting. I didn't know that was how they got the movies at the theaters.
I think I combined the percentage and the bidding on one.
Oh, okay.
So the percentage would have been how much they would pay for it to actually. Yeah. Now here's another question people ask: who gets the $10 when you put the money on? So say you're going up, you're on a date, you put your $10 down, and you're wondering where that goes. Well, 50% of that money goes back to the production house.
That's Warner Bros., Fox, Universal, Lionsgate, those guys.
Only 20 to 25% goes to the theater, which means out of every ticket they sell of $10 to $12, they make between $2.40 and $3 a ticket.
So that's a lot of money, but sometimes you get the theaters that think that they're not making enough money, and so
really,
some theaters you go into and the tickets are a little higher because that ups their percentage, but some theaters you go to and the tickets are a little lower because maybe they have more volume of film goers.
I don't really think $2.40, $3 is enough
For the
No, I think they're getting ripped.
You think the theaters deserve more than that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we discussed that in Vinny's opinion that the actors are getting paid too much money.
Yeah, they are, because you think about it. Like you were saying, Liam Neeson probably gets between $10 to $20 million a picture. Okay, and that's what he's getting. You're not paying the producer.
That's off the top.
You're not paying the director. You're not paying
the other
actors and the crew.
Yeah.
You're not paying for all the filming locations, the equipment, the sets, the props.
Pre and post production.
And people wonder why that you pay $8, $9 for cheese sticks, or you pay $6 for a hot dog that only costs $1, or you're paying 15 cents for popcorn they're paying
$15.
They're paying 15 cents for popcorn, and we're paying between $8 to $12 for a bag of popcorn.
Yeah, and now you know why. It's because the theaters aren't getting as much money as they think they deserve, and so what do? They jack up the soda, the popcorn, the candy. Now you can get beer, you can get chicken fingers, you can get some of these high-end theaters, you can get a steak, you can get lasagna, you can get all kinds of dinners at some of these dine-in theaters.
This just shows you how this story that I'm about to tell you just shows you how greedy the movie industry is. When Star Wars 2: Attack of the Clones came out, the studio took 100% of the box office profits for 1 week, 100% for the whole movie.
And what week was it? The very first week he came out?
Very first week, yeah. So they made $0 on that. Zero.
That week.
Now, if that was me, I wouldn't even fucking show that. Excuse me. sorry for my French, I wouldn't even show that movie. I would have told them, you can stick it where the sun don't shine, because you know what? That's ridiculous, and that's where the film industry takes advantage. That's highway robbery right there.
Well, can I just defend the production company for its 20th Century Fox? It's Lucas Limited. This is a movie that they were probably figuring was going to make close to, if not $1 billion. So they took the very first week. Say they made 80, 90, 100 million the first one. I don't know what they made, but then all that extra money, they took their percentage and gave it to the theaters after that. The theaters got quite a bit of money, Vinny, from that movie, because they knew that movie was going to make a lot. So that was the deal that Lucas and 20th Century Fox made with the theater companies, I believe. And look, the theater companies wouldn't have made that deal if they didn't think it was going to make a lot of money.
Listen,
so how much did that movie make?
Domestically, it made $320 million.
So how much worldwide?
$649
Right,
million.
so the first week you figure it made 80, 90 billion. So
opening week it made $80 million.
All right, then. So they didn't touch that 80 million in the theaters, but then they got a piece, 25% of the other 500 million. 25% of 500 million.
Well, that's pretty selfish if you have to take 100% of it the first week. Pretty selfish.
Well, you don't know what kind of deal they work. A lot of times they work these.
You know how
deals.
bad that's like? You have to understand something. Without them making that money, how can they afford to pay the people making the food, the people running the concession, the people running the projector? They can't. They can't. That's like me saying to you, hey, come in to work. But you know what? Your first week you come in, just because you're training, I'm not going to pay you. What would you say to me?
I wouldn't be happy about that.
Yeah.
I would not be
You'd probably
happy.
tell me to go F myself.
But I know if it's a job that I want in a place I want to work, I have to make concessions. No pun intended.
Now, here's another thing, too. Each week that the theater shows the movie, the more it increases.
Oh, really?
So, so between 3 weeks to 4 weeks, that's when they get 45%, 50%, and towards the end they get 80% of the money.
Ah, okay.
But what I don't like, again, like I said, it costs 15 cents a bag of popcorn, and they're charging you, $5, $6 for the popcorn. You know,
that's a lot of charge for the theaters.
like where we go to Altamont 18 in Altamont, Florida. A combo for a drink, a popcorn is between $12 to $14. A combo that has 2 drinks and 1 popcorn is $22. $5 hot dogs, pizzas are $8.50. Beers are $8.75. So and I don't want to say this, but I'm a cheap guy. You know what I mean? It's like this. I understand that you're not getting but only $3 to $4 for my money. But if the production houses weren't so damn greedy, people wouldn't have to think, well, damn, I come in here, I spend my hard-earned money, $12.50, $10.50, whatever it costs in your town to see a movie, and then on top of that, you want me to go and spend, $20, $30, $40 for my family to go and enjoy themselves at the snack bar along with it. And a lot of people don't think the way we think. A lot of people don't think, they think that the theaters get all this money. They're not. They're getting ripped. They're really getting ripped. If I owned a multi-billion-dollar company, a multi-million-dollar facility that had, 10 theaters, 4K projectors, all this stuff, and it would be hard for me as an owner to let these people come in and just run over my stuff and not give me but $2 to $3. I think it's bullshit.
Yeah, no, I understand where you're coming from. I mean, there's a lot of movie theaters out there, and if all these movie theaters are playing some of these movies, that makes that piece of pie a lot smaller. So I think you're right. I think the piece of pie that the movie theaters get should be bigger because of the fact there's growing. Like, we'll say what, just in our vicinity from where you live right now, in the places we go in in and around the Orlando area. What does 1, 2, 3, 4 movie theaters within what? How many? 3 to 5 miles?
With a 5-mile radius, yes.
In a 5-mile radius of each other. So that's splitting that pie awful small for these theaters. And I agree. Some of these actors probably don't deserve $20 million. But hey, if someone's willing to pay it for you, it's like you. If I gave you $25 an hour, wouldn't you take it?
No.
You wouldn't take it? I sure would.
Well, let's get into it. So Liam Neeson, big time actor. You know, he's done 5 big movies this year. We're going to start off with the Lego Movie. The production budget was $60 million. Domestically, it did $257 million with a worldwide total of $468 million.
Wow. That is a big box office for Liam Neeson.
And that's him playing good guy, bad cop, good cop.
He played good cop, bad cop. That's right. Okay.
The next movie he did, Nonstop, with a $50 million budget. This one made domestically $91 million, and worldwide it made $202 million.
Holy, so that we're over 600 and something million, right, so far on these just 2 movies, Nonstop and Lego.
The Nut Job was a $42 million budget. Domestically, they made $64 million opening week. Worldwide, they made $105 million.
So he made. So now we're up to $700 million on 3 movies that Liam Neeson was in this year.
And A Million Ways to Die in the West. This one was $40 million for the production budget. It only made domestically $42 million, so it just barely covered the cost.
It made its money back.
And worldwide, it made $85 million.
So that's the advertising money that it made. So it means it actually made its money back. Barely. A Million Ways to Die in the West. If you talk about posters and commercials and so forth like that, trailers, so it barely made its money back.
That's a grand total of $860 million with all those movies.
And now we got one coming out Friday, and another one. We saw the early screening of it, Walk Among the Tomb. So he could, if all things go good for Liam Neeson,
he can clear
$1 billion on this year. So that tells us something about Liam Neeson.
Now, he's not the only person in the movie, but he's a big enough star to where he could get $10 to $20 million a picture.
Yeah, and this, by these box office numbers, obviously Nut Job and A Million Ways to Die in the West weren't as good as Nonstop and Lego, but it still guarantees that when Liam Neeson's in a movie, that they make money, and 9 times out of 10, they make a lot of money, and that's why he's such a box office man. So he gets more money a picture, and that's why we're bringing this up, is sometimes the budgets of these movies are higher because of a Tom Cruise, a Liam Neeson, people like that. Now you're saying that he shouldn't get that kind of money, even though when he's in a movie, the movie makes money. Right?
Yeah, and just for example, you know, Sin City 2, you know, this movie cost,
it didn't cost a lot to make, but it cost probably between 50 and 100 million, I would imagine, right?
Let's look it up. Sin City 2 cost. I'm going to say it cost 150 million.
Okay. And it's got a lot more actors in it. This is where we're kind of Vinny's leaning towards this. Like you get a movie where you got one big star like Liam Neeson, or you got a movie with a bunch of big stars, and so that piece of the pie where all these stars are in a movie, they get paid less because they can't afford to pay Josh Brolin $20 million.
$65 million, okay?
So everybody in that movie didn't get a lot of money for being in Sin City 2.
So here you go. Here's my point, okay? The movie cost $65 million to make, okay? Okay, you had Jessica Alba, you had Rosie Dawson, you had Eva Green, you had Ray Liotta, you had Mickey Rourke, Bruce Willis,
Jessica Alba,
okay? All right? Right now, domestically, it's only sitting at $13 million.
So that means none of these guys got paid. Nobody made any money off this movie. The actors, the production people, Robert Rodriguez, They lost money. And you have a group of stars in this movie. Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Yet the movie didn't make any money. So those actors now are going to go into their next movies and they're going to say, well, you're in Sin City 2 and that movie didn't make any money. So they're going to get the blame for movies not making money. Where Liam Neeson, people are going to say, man, this guy, he's bankable. And so he gets money. And so that's where the production value of movies, like I said, Jim Carrey, Tom Hanks, Tom Cruise, Jack Nicholson, Liam Neeson. And Liam Neeson's really been cranking out these movies the last 4 or 5 years, and every one of them has been very prosperous and very productive as far as making money. And so that's where it kind of cuts into the theaters when you have an actor like that making a lot of money. But what would you do if you're the production people and the people casting, and you know that when Liam Neeson is in a movie, what would you do? What would you say? Now Liam Neeson...
Well, listen, worldwide it's sitting at $27 million.
So it's still lost its backside.
And here's the thing: the company, I think it's
Troublemaker Studios. That's Robert Rodriguez, Troublemaker Studios.
This movie did so bad that studio is going out of business.
Well, I found out this week that, speaking of a studio that didn't make a lot of money, as much money as I thought, Sony lost $2 billion this year in movies. I'm wondering if they banked on Spider-Man making 3 or 4 million more than it made, or 100 million more than it made, or what else they put out, Sony. But it came out today that Sony lost $2 billion. Now, I don't know if that's the truth or not, but I just heard that story today.
Well, and you look at it like this. Sin City was supposed to come out last summer. It didn't come out last summer because they were tweaking it a little bit, the story, and they were putting 3D and special effects in it. I feel like when you work on a movie and you release a movie as a release date, and then you tell all these fans that you're going to push it back for all these other reasons, people lose interest. People don't want to see it. People get mad. People, say, hey, well, hell with them. If they want to do this, whatever. And I look at it like this. You don't need a high production, fancy-dancy budget when you have good actors. You don't need crazy-ass green screens and crazy-ass car chases like that to make a movie so great.
And then I want to point out 2 of Liam Neeson's movies came out in February, and one of them came out in January, and one of them came out early September. The one it's coming out this week. Is it me, or are these movies well placed where there maybe aren't that many other good movies out, and so people go see it? Well, it's Liam Neeson, so I'm going to go see it. Like Unknown, Taken 2 came out in February and September. Is he doing this? Are they marketing these movies to come out at these times on purpose? Is this part of the plan, and this is why these movies are successful?
Well, you got to look at this also. This summer you had Turtles and you had Guardians of the Galaxy. Granted, the Guardians of the Galaxy came out before Turtles. Turtles got released about a week or 2 later, and
they all came out right before Sin City 2. And
everybody jumped to see Turtles, and then they were like, whatever. They all went back to Guardians. So you have to also think as a production house, a director.
Word of mouth.
Yeah, word of mouth. You got to make sure that your movie's going to come out on the right week, where you're not going to get pummeled by a movie like Guardians of the Galaxy. You have to plan it the right way.
7 weeks, it was in the top 2 of the box office. It is the #1 movie of the year in America. It's not the #1 movie in the world, but American box office, it crossed. World box office crossed 600 million and over 300 million in this box office in the United States. So that tells you something. You've got to have placement at the right time. It's got to have a good plot that people are going to like the movie. And so there's a lot goes into why a movie doesn't do good. And it just seems like these Liam Neeson movies they plan these movies out and put him at certain times in the year where they can capitalize on his popularity.
Well, the main subject was, do we think that the productions houses and the actors get paid too much. I do, because I even in sports, I don't think anybody's worth $250 million to play sports. I don't think an actor's worth $20 million. There are people on the side of the road, you know, from today until the end of the end of the millennium, that are begging for money, begging for a job, and these guys over here, all they're doing is smiling nice with a bunch of makeup on the camera and making $20 to $50 million a picture.
I think this is the question you need to ask yourself, and this is where all the people listening and watching this video, comment, and please comment on this if you have something to say. Are you willing to pay the money for these movies? Are you willing to pay the money to go to the sporting event? Are you willing to pay the money to go to the concert? And if you are, then that's how these guys get paid. Because if you don't go see the movies, the sporting events, the concerts, then these people's money goes down. But if you're willing to pay $80, $90 for a football game, $80, $90, $30, $40, whatever for a concert, $10, $11, $12 for a movie, then that's how the people are going to get paid. So if people don't go to the things, and that's their way of picketing or what's the word I'm trying to use, boycotting movies and concerts and sporting events, then these guys won't get paid. But if you guys keep going to them, then that's how the people get paid.
I heard an interview on Wednesday with Slash. He was calling the local radio station here, and he said that he didn't make the record to make money. He made the record because he loves doing what he does. And he said that the last couple records that he put out on vinyl and CD, he didn't make a lot of money off of them. People aren't buying records like they used to. And you have things like Spotify, and you have other apps, Pandora, and iHeartRadio, that you can listen to these albums before they come out. And especially iTunes, you know, before they'll do first hears where you can listen to the whole album before buying it.
Well, how about you two this week? Now, this is a band that's made billions of dollars on all kinds of different ways, and so they released their latest album for free. You don't even have to pay to buy their latest album on iTunes. So guess what?
They're going to go up. You get it for free?
You're going to get it for free. But guess what? That's going to give you more money in your pocket to go see them in concert. You're like, oh, I saw that record for free. I listened to the songs, and wow, it's great. Next time U2 comes along, guess what? You're going to put more money in their pocket because you're going to go see them live. But I think, remember when Garth Brooks, he did all those shows and he was making all that money, and then he started doing concerts for like $20. Big arenas, $20, $20, $20. You know? Sometimes people like U2 and Garth Brooks, they give back. And what you're saying is you think some of these stars like Tom Cruise, Liam Neeson, some of these guys should say, you know what, I can get paid $1 million. I don't need to get paid $10 million or $20 million to do a movie. Is that what you're saying? Give it back to the theaters.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Well, that wraps it up on our special, us talking about theaters and box office and how much they make, and kind of going through Liam Neeson's year of how much money his movies made, how much money he gets paid, and he's a very successful actor. So, Vinny says, please give back a few bucks. Take a little bit less money, Liam Neeson. Give back to the theaters that way.
Please give me 15 cents a bag of popcorn also.
Yeah, he wants cheaper popcorn, cheaper soda. Look at him. Does he look like he eats his popcorn and soda? Yeah. So he wants to pay less for it.
Because if not, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop my popcorn and bring my soda and go right into the theater and not even worry about the popcorn stand.
And he ain't the only one. A lot of people are doing that because that stuff is expensive.
Well, make sure you check out our side shows from the Best in Movie Show, weekly show. Each week we're going to do a different topic, and they're going to be good topics. So, and if you have a topic that you might want us to talk about or throw at us, go to thebestinmovieshow.com and put your comment there, or email us, bestinmovieshow@yahoo.com. We also get them there.
And later this week, we're going to be talking about Alexander, the no good, bad, horrible day, right?
Actually, coming up next,
we
have the review for it.
All right, great.
Because we saw it we saw it on Saturday this morning.
That's right.
And we're going to talk about it. So when we come back here on the Best Movie Show, we're going to give you a review of Alexandra, the new Steve Carell film. So stick around. You're watching the Best Movie Show on YouTube.com. Hey, welcome back here on the Best Day Movie Show. I do not know where Skip went. He was here a minute ago, and now he's gone. So maybe he went to get us a exclusive scoop. I'm not sure yet, but we're here. I'm here to review Alexandra and the No Good, Very Horrible, Bad Day. Wait, excuse me. Let me correct this. Alexandra and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day. This one's starring Steve Carell. I tell you, great movie, wonderful movie. If you want to take your kids to something that you might have experienced maybe one day or a month ago or any other day, this movie would be it. It pretty much sums up how a very horrible bad day is. I've never experienced a day like that. But the way that family had a horrible day, I would never wish it upon anybody. But, you know, the movie's about this kid, Alexandra, and it's based on a book, a kid's book. I took my niece and my nephew and my brother and his wife, and my niece, Zoe, said to me, "That's nothing like the book." Oh no, that was Gavin. No, Gavin said it's nothing like the book. But what the story's about is Alexandra starts out the movie with a very horrible, no good day, and nobody in his family sees how his day was or cares about how his day turned out to be. So he wishes it upon the family to have a day like he did. And I'm going to tell you what, folks. It was a no good, very horrible, bad day for them. I don't want to give too much away for it, but I very, very, very enjoyed this film. You know, I know a lot of people were coming into it like they didn't like it. A lot of bad reviews about it. I got to see it 3 weeks early. But I'm telling you what, go out and see it. Rush out and see it. It's worth the $10.50 to go see it. Steve Carell plays a really, really good part. He's a, I'm going to see how they say it, mommy-fi. He's a mommy/daddy. Because his wife is a full-time VP at a company. So he's the mommy-fi at the house. But again, I'm going to give this movie a 9 out of 10. You know what? Screw it. I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10 because I like the movie so well. A 10 out of 10 for me. And people that watch the Best Day Movie Show know that I really don't do that. So for a movie to get 10 out of 10, it had to have been a really good film. And I really enjoyed this film. But don't take my word for it. Go see it. Really, really go see the movie. Comes out October 10th, 2014. And don't you have yourself a horrible, very bad day, if you know what I mean. I'm Vincent LaSpada. We'll see you at the movies.
No, a lie, it never flies. I don't ever wanna have to die, but deep inside, the death that hides.